Hey guys, welcome back. So I am really super excited to be sharing this video with you guys today. And we are going to be doing some sweater nail designs. But I am first going to start with my normal dip powder application. So I'm just going to loosen up my powders. This first color I'm using is by Revel. They're actually both by Revel. This one is called Truth. And the other color is a gorgeous glittery navy blue color. And of course I'll be using my triple vitamin base. And I'm just going to apply a thin layer of my base from cuticle to free edge and dip into my powder. And then of course I will clean around my cuticle and sidewalls after I've dipped with a Orangewood stick. You guys all probably know the drill by now with the dip powder. But I want to take a second real quick. I've had a bunch of people message me, Instagram, Facebook. I've had a couple comments on some of my videos of you guys wanting me to do a video on doing tips. I'm going to do two different videos. The one that will be coming out first will be either tea bags or coffee filter tips. Those are just what I prefer. I've only done tea bags so far. I'm actually getting ready to do the coffee filter ones in the next day or so, and then I will see which ones I think are the easiest to do and all out just better tip to do, I guess you would say. I don't like to do the traditional actual plastic nail tips on my nails. So when we get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to do those on my brother. That's going to be a fun video because we're going to get all wild and crazy and jiggy with that. I personally don't like to do the plastic ones on me just because you probably can't tell on the videos that I do. I don't have a really strong C-curve. I don't have much of a C-curve, period. So I actually have a harder time getting the plastic tips to adhere to my nails because the tips want to curve, my nails do not. And since they do that, it also makes it to where I have to file them more to get them blended in with my natural nail. So for that reason, I prefer the tea bags or something along that line. Because the tea bag ones, once I put those on, I don't even have to file them to blend them into my natural nail. Alright, so anyway, I've just done my 2 dips of Truth. And now I'm going to stir up my Distant. And then I will do my 2 dips of this. And then I will cap all of them in clear and activate. And I will be back when it is time to buff. Okay, so I've applied all my layers of dip and I've activated, and now I am just going to buff them up. I usually don't use a buffer, but I don't have matte gel polish yet. I ordered it and I'm just waiting for it to come in. So I have this matte regular top coat that I'll show you in just a second. You do need some kind of matte top coat for the sweater design. I've done some with just regular top coat, just try it on a swatch. It doesn't look great with the shiny background. It needs to be matte. So I'm just gonna finish buffing up my nails. And now I'm just going to wipe all the extra dust off with just a little cotton ball with some alcohol on it. If you want to, you could go wash your hands. That's usually what I would do, but for video purposes, I'm just wiping off with alcohol. And as you can tell between the color of my dip and my dry skin, the blue color kind of stained a little bit, but I was able to just wash it off. So here is my Sally Hansen Miracle Gel Matte Top Coat. And I'm just going to apply it as I would any other top coat. And then I will let that dry, and then we will start the sweater design. Alright, so now that that's dry, we're just going to use some nail art brushes, dotting tool. I've applied a little bit of clear gel top coat, and I am just ignore this pinky because I did it in dots, but I ended up taking it off at the very end and doing something different on there. I didn't like the way that the dots looked, but you pretty much just take a clear top coat and do whatever kind of design you like, and then you take the matching dip powder and sprinkling it over top like how you do sugar effect. So I've just done a couple little polka dots on that one. It's my mess up now. I thought about taking it off while I was doing the gel, but I was like, maybe it'll look okay once the powder's on there, but just didn't work. I ended up taking it off and doing a snowflake on it. Now these do take just a little bit longer, only because you do have to kind of cure each one in between, just because you don't want to risk bumping into it or anything while you're doing the other ones. And if after you've dumped on some powder you see some shiny spots coming through, just dump a little bit more powder on those areas. Don't worry about taking a brush and dusting off anything just yet. Do that after you cure it. And see, I just didn't like it. I do apologize. For camera purposes, the navy blue color is pretty, but it wasn't the best color for showing the sweater one. This one you can see really well with the pink. Now these sweater designs, my son actually looked up pictures, so I let him pick which designs I do. So I ended up doing 5 different designs on all of my nails. Just applying a little bit more gel top coat. I'm gonna take my nail art brush. I do have a little bit of alcohol off to the side to wipe my brush off in between. And this one I'm just going to do, I don't really know how to describe it, almost like some loops almost. And I'm just going to do 3 of those somewhat down the center of my nail. Like that. I practiced a little bit before I tried doing the actual braided, like knitted look, but I either need a thicker gel top coat or a much thinner nail art brush. The gel just kind of ran together a little bit. So you do need to make sure when you're doing these that you kind of space the designs out a little bit just so they don't run together. And now I'm just kind of going around the sides of the loop and just kind of doing like squiggly lines around the sides. Just like that. And now I'm just going to do just some diagonal lines just to fill in those spaces. This one actually turns out really pretty when it's done. And just do the same thing to the other side. And then I will pour the powder on, and when you're pouring the powder on, you want to try and do it as light as you can. If it goes on too heavy, it's going to flatten the design down. Right. So when you're happy with your design, you just grab your powder. And I am just using clear swatches just to pick up the powders. So now I will just, as lightly as I can, dust over some of the powder on here. I end up grabbing my ombre brush just to see if that would make it go on just a little bit more gently. But this is like a denser type of powder, so I think it was just gonna fall the same way either way. It really didn't affect my design too much. And then just tap off the excess. And I'm just checking to make sure I don't have any shiny gel parts shining through. And then I will cure that for 30 seconds. And now I will just take my duster brush and just dust it off really good and get all that excess powder off. All right, so now for my middle finger, again, I'm just gonna take my nail art brush. And for this one, I'm gonna make sort of like some S's going down the center. But I'm making sure, I don't know how to explain it. I'm kind of making sure the tail of the second one kind of goes into the loop part of the first one. Hopefully You'll be able to see it here in a second. Hopefully you can see that. So there's my little first one. And then the second one, I'm gonna get it kind of close to the first one, but you don't want to go too close together with the gels. You don't want them to run into each other. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a line down each side on the side of the design that I just did with the S's. And you don't need to do the gel super thick either. You can actually do it kind of thin and it still works out. And obviously this does end up being a textured type of nail. I didn't have any problems with it. To me, it didn't bother me. I didn't have a problem with any of it chipping off or flaking off, even with doing the gel over top of the regular matte polish. That was kind of my big test with doing it, whether the gel would work with the regular polish underneath. So now on this side, I am doing kind of like zigzag lines on the sides. My son was even down here watching me, telling me, do this, do that, do this. I love that he takes an interest and gives me ideas. So I'm just going to do the zigzags on the other side. I do have reveal pictures at the end. You'll be able to see all of these designs a bit better. So I am going to let you guys finish watching me just do these random designs, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, so I have buffed off the polka dots on my pinky that I didn't like. And now I'm going to do a snowflake with a Orangewood stick. And I just am doing 2 diagonal long lines all the way across, or wherever you want them to go. And then shorter lines in between. Just using my clear polish. And now where those longer lines are, I'm just taking my Orangewood stick and just doing little V's right in the center of the V is obviously right on the line. So it creates those little snowflake lines. And then on the smaller lines, I just did a dot right on the end of the line. I did end up later on doing my other hand in gray in the color Hustler by Revel. So that picture will be at the end for the reveals. I just wanted you guys to have a better color to really see how these turn out. And then for the snowflake, I am going to add a little rhinestone right to the center of it. All right, and here is the little snowflake. Hopefully you guys can see that. I am just going to add a little, I added a little gem over the top, and now I'm just going to dust over the powder. And then I'm just gonna take a little detailed brush with a little bit of alcohol and just get the extra dust off of my little rhinestone. And then I will cure my full hand fully for 60 seconds. That's what you would do at the end. I've already cured it fully before I took off the pinky. But you want to make sure that when you finish your last nail that you make sure you cure all of those the rest of the way. All right, and here is the finished look after I dust off our finished snowflakes. And just to let you guys know, our giveaway video will be on Friday. We are only, I think, 1 subscriber away from that as of now. So that will be our Friday video, so stay tuned for that. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. And here are the reveal photos. Bye.